So I got my screwball name this week. The world famous southpaw known as Wandy Rodriguez.
I
He's a southpaw.
Wandy.
The southpaw who wielded his magic Wandy for 11 seasons, mostly with the Astros, Pirates, and I think he had a cup of coffee with the Rangers. His best year was actually 2009. He won 14 games. He had a 3.02 ERA. That's pretty it's a good Cy Young candidate kind of numbers. But I mean, where's Wandy now? Like, I want to know. Like, we get to do a segment called "Where's Wandy" instead of "Where's Waldo."
Maybe he's in Alice in Wonderland.
I wonder what he's up to now. Gosh, there's so many puns you can use for his name. Like, oh, what a weird name. What did you get?
Well, I got one of the most interesting, unique names in Major League Baseball, Jurrjens.
Whoa, JJ, Double J.
Yes, indeed. Born in Curacao, which is a part of the Dutch Caribbean and is, a sovereign state of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Jurgens was a major league pitcher for 8 seasons. Played for the Tigers, Braves, Orioles, and Rockies. He had a decent career actually, 53 and 38 record, 3.72 ERA, and 514 strikeouts. Spent most of his career with the Atlanta Braves. 2008, he was a rookie and was ranked third best prospect and finished third in the Rookie of the Year honors. Giovanni Soto won the Rookie of the Year that year, and the runner-up was Joey Votto. Uh,
My name is
Jurgens played-
Vato.
My name is Facto. Jurgens played in the 2011 All-Star game, and then went injured after that. He also played in different baseball organizations around the world. Um, yeah, and unfortunately, when he was playing in the minor leagues in 2017 for the Dodgers organization, he was banned 80 games for using a bad substance.
Oh man, poor guy. Poor Double J. I mean, he
Up and
should have
down
done some. He probably had some merchandising opportunities with Jurgens brand, but Jurgens Jurgen. He's probably messed that up. Speaking of mess ups, my screwball moment this week is the infamous Bill Buckner
Bill Buckner, bless his soul.
5-hole moment. God rest his soul. Tragically lost him. I think last year, or was it this year? I think it was last
I
year.
believe so, yeah.
So everybody remembers the 1986 World Series. Poor Bill Buckner playing first base in the 10th inning. So basically, the Red Sox, they scored 2 runs in the top of the 10th. And instead of bringing in a defensive replacement for Buckner, manager John McNamara kept him in there. And then with 2 outs and no one on base, the Mets got 3 straight singles. They tied the game on a wild pitch. And then Mookie Wilson hit that dribbler to Buckner that went right through his legs, allowing Ray Knight to score the winning run. The Mets have came back in the next game as well, and they end up winning the World Series. I feel so bad for the guy. I mean, it's the curse of the Bambino and all that stuff. But this guy is like Babe Ruth is dead. Like nobody could bother him. Nobody cared to rip his family apart or do anything bad to them. I mean, this guy had like 30 plus years of heckling until the Red Sox finally won the World Series. But he was actually, I found that he was actually battling leg injuries towards the end of that year. Like nobody really talks about that because your mobility can be limited if your legs hurt and you're trying to swivel one way to the other. It'll affect your balance and your perception. But how come nobody blames a manager like John McNamara? Well, the guy Buckner was 0 for 5 in that game apparently, and he was battling a leg injury. You're up by 3 runs. Why wouldn't you take him out? Like just a defensive replacement. The guy is hurt. He's having a terrible game, terrible playoffs. He's batting under the Mendoza line at that time. At that point, so I blame the manager, man. I feel bad for Buckner. He had to deal with this the rest of his life. Well, no one's ever heard the name John McNamara, so now you have. So I hope people that watch this can blame John McNamara and leave Bill Buckner alone. So what do you got for your screwball moment?
Well, you know what? From the 1986 Boston Red Sox to the 2003 Boston Red Sox, the ALCS Game 7 between the Red Sox and the New York Yankees. This was Grady Little's managerial decision. You mentioned about John McNamara not pulling out Bill Buckner in that 86 game. This one, Grady Little kept Pedro Martinez on the mound during that pivotal Game 7 of the ALCS. The Red Sox led 5-2 in the eighth inning and 5 outs away from the trip to the World Series. Can you believe that? Pedro Martinez had already thrown 118 pitches at this point, gave up 3 straight hits and a run to Derek Jeter. Manager Grady Little came up to the mound and kept him in there for some reason because of his intuitive style of managing, and which has proved costly for the Red Sox. The next batter up was Jorge Posada, hit a 2-run double. And we all know Aaron Boone's game-winning home run in the bottom of the 11th that sent the Yankees to the World Series. Grady Little received a lot of criticism after the game for his decision to keep Pedro on the mound. He was eventually let go as the Red Sox manager and replaced with Terry Francona, which the following year led the Red Sox to the World Series for the first time in 80-plus years.
Yeah, I feel bad for Grady Little. I have Pedro Martinez's book, and if I remember, like in that segment, he talks about that game, and he talks about how there was so much pressure on Grady Little because their bullpen wasn't performing that well, and Pedro's Pedro, and they've got a lot of money riding on him, so it was a bit of a tough decision for him to leave him in like that, because he obviously would have asked him, but if you take any, get a blind baseball fan to just look at this in a scenario. If you were the manager at this point, take away any of the politics, any of the contracts, what would you have done in that situation when you see that Pedro is starting to give up hits? You take him out. You bring in the bullpen. I don't care if the guys in the bullpen have been struggling. They might have a good day. Right now, Pedro's struggling, and I guess the curse continued that night, but got axed the next time. Maybe it's thanks to Grady Little they won the World Series. You never know. If he took Pedro out and they won that game and won the series, they weren't guaranteed. Maybe they lose in the World Series. But by getting rid of him, bringing in Francona, changing the atmosphere, they ended up winning. So you got to look at the positives, screwball moments, I guess.